Yo, still bills. What's the deal, man? It's Tuesday. I just had to run up in Walmart, man. I wanna we going out of town next week. I wanted to grab some beard oil for the kid, so I had to go grab that. And it's cold as a motherfucker out here, man. So I'm heading to the casa right now to kick my feet up before I go to the gym. But peep gang, man, I want to talk about something, right? And that's David Benavidez performance against Anthony Yarde. First off, I gotta say, man, hey, I was wrong in how I saw the fight going. I thought it would go the distance because David had yet to prove that he was punching up there at 175 pounds to the point where I figured he'd stop him. And I figured if he did stop him, how it happened, I didn't think that he would stop him, but I did kind of see. When people would say that he's gonna go up here and stop him, I was like, I can see it happening on the back end of the fight due to exhaustion. So I definitely left, room for, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can see a stoppage. I'm not about to bet on it, but I can see it happening. But it ended up happening 7 rounds, you dig? Like right there at the midway point. So congrats to him, man. Congrats to him. I don't know what the fuck Anthony Yarde was doing fighting like that, man. I was with some of my guys at the crib and we was watching, and I'm like, this nigga fighting like he unlocked a new ability in a video game. Like, why are you fighting like that, man? Like, I don't, when you have gas tank issues as is, it would behoove you to fight off the back foot like that, where you're consistently moving. You're not planting your feet and standing in the ring. You're not standing in the, at a range that's conducive to you, man. You're top heavy. You're moving around. You're circling around, bro. And it looked good, but it's like this is contradictory to you, man. It was a point in the fight where you saw Benavidez like stand here, like come on, like why are you moving around like that? You dig? And, that could come off as a little bit of a sign of frustration. Actually, it was a sign of frustration, but he found a way to persevere. But it's like, why are you fighting like that? You dig? That just don't make much sense for you to fight like that when you've never fought like that before. Like you're trying to set up counters and shit, walk him into counters, and he cut him. He did walk him into counters. He definitely did. But why you wouldn't stand in the middle of the ring and force him to back up is just something that's, really weird to me. It takes energy from you to fight like that. It's a lot more taxing on you to fight like that than it is to come forward. And it's that much more taxing when you already have a history of having gas tank issues. That just was real weird to me, man. Like, I don't get it, but nonetheless, David went in there and did a destruction job on dude. I didn't agree with the clean sweep. As far I can give Yarde maybe a round. 2 would be really generous, but he did. He had David off balance a lot because of the way that he was moving. So David, like I said, he's gonna find a way to persevere and he's gonna find a way to put punches together. Yarde is not going to be as quick on the counter, and he's going to fight at a pace that's going to force Yarde to really burn through his energy in the manner that he's already, like in a much more rapid manner. You dig? And it ain't, that's going to be his doom. But I figured it would go the distance, so I was wrong on that regard. So, congrats to David Benavidez, bro. Congrats to him on that. Yarde, I don't know what you do after this fight, man. It might be time for a new trainer, man, because I don't get why you would fight like that. It just doesn't make sense to me why you would try to be the slickster. It's really just, who told you that was a good idea, bro? Who told you that was a good idea? It's a lot. It takes more energy to fight on the go, being mobile, bro. And you trapped on the ropes. You trying to play possum on the rope like you Floyd Roy or Canelo or something, man. You not none of them niggas to be fighting off the rope like that. Or Shakur Stevenson. You're not like you are not like that. What are you doing? This is stupid. Like I didn't get it, man. Like that shit was just so asinine for you to sit there and try to, that was your game plan. What happened to the shootout? You stood a better chance in the shootout. You could have gained his respect a whole hell of a lot more in a shootout. Why are you circling like this, man? I don't get it. Why are you using your... It was just so... It's just really ridiculous, man. But David made his decision to jump up to cruiserweight for May to fight Zurdo Ramirez. And, I'm like this, man. Y'all know I'm not no David Benavidez fan. But if your body just can't make the weight, you You got to do what it is that you got to do. You got to move up. You got to move up. But if you can continue to make the weight, because he didn't look like he was drained enough. He didn't fight like he was drained, if we being real. He didn't fight like he was drained. He fought like, he was a lot more assertive. And the fact that he actually went out there and knocked out Anthony Yarde, that is telling me you could potentially, you got another 2 fights. You got another fight at the very least in you to fight at light heavyweight. You do. You do. And there's still work to be done, man. You are maybe a fight or two away from fighting for undisputed. With some of the greats in this, in the light heavyweight division. Does it really make a lot of sense now, granted, before I even say that, let me say that I'm A-okay with a Zordo fight. Because I think that's a dope fight. That'll be the best fight on his, on his resume thus far. I think that's a damn good fight for him to take. And if you can't make the weight, then you have no other choice but to do it. But it just is weird to me that you would jump up. And at first I'm thinking like, yo, man, like I get it, you just can't make the weight. But then I'm looking at everything, and I'm taking it back. I'm like, yo, this is weird. Like if you was just going, why strip Bivol in the first place? Why strip him in the first place, bro? Because this shit it looks weird. Yeah, Bivol didn't go through, we had yet to know that he was going into surgery. We had yet to know that. We didn't know that. We didn't know that. But let's say he didn't go into surgery and he had to fight. I'm not doing it today. Even if he didn't go into surgery, you knew a trilogy was happening, bro, and you decided that you said it out of your own mouth, man. Yeah, I'll fight Callum Smith on the undercard. Just for just for you to get the belt defended once and then jump up again, like, bro, you're this close to, you're this close to not only a unification match but an undisputed title bout. I wouldn't even be mad. Because, Benavidez is the number one. He's ranked number 1 in the division that you, not the division, but the sanctioning body of the belt that you hold. So let's say you don't want to fight Artur. Let's say you don't want to fight Artur. You dig? Honestly, if we're being real, you should fight Artur. If you can fight Anthony Yarde, you can go and you can fight Artur. You can go and you can fight him. Why jump up? I'm in the middle with this, man, because I've heard a lot of people say, and it makes sense, you and Zerto are using each other to duck Opataya and Benavidez, and it makes sense. People go, oh, he's avoided, don't nobody want to fight him, and yada yada yada. Bro, Benavidez is like, yo, I'm available now. Like, what's shaking? Why can't we get in there and run that shit? Like what's happening? That's what he's saying in the now. And now it's like you want to run up the cruiserweight, bro. It gives the impression that, yeah, all this shit was just about optics. David has honestly, I got to give it to these PBC fighters, man, because it's an immaculate way of doing this. They move in a manner to where the waters are muddy, to where you can see, just where someone is saying you on some bullshit. They have enough evidence that they done compiled out there that can contradict everything that you're saying. They honestly have done that. Bro. David Benavidez, I can't make the weight no more. And me, if you can't make the weight no more, your health is your wealth. So don't overexert yourself trying to make the weight. But you didn't fight in a manner where you couldn't make the weight at. And it took you years to get out of the super middleweight division. When you were standing there holding out hopes that you would get a fight with Canelo, bro. You could keep that. You ain't got another 6 months or so. Because from what they're saying, Bivol is, he's not going into no Benavidez fight right off the rip. He's not going into that fight. So why wouldn't you look to lock horns with a Benavidez? Why wouldn't you look to lock horns with him, man? Like, not me and you can run that shit. Since we ain't doing nothing else. You ain't got nobody lined up. I ain't got nobody lined up. Zordo got a fight in January. You can brawl out with Benavidez in December, not January, December, but February or something. You don't even need that much time. Well, I don't know. I can't. His face did look a little bruised, so I don't want to put that off on him like he ain't take much damage. I don't know, man. Like this whole thing is. I'm sitting back. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it, and I'm hearing people's, their thought pattern on it, and it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, bro. Like, it's not all the way adding up. It's not all the way adding up. A lot of the shit looks sketchy. A whole lot of it. It looks sketchy. And y'all been talking about Zerto for like a year now, at the very least. Y'all been talking about a fight with Zerto for some time, man. And just why even strip Bivol, Brody? Why even skip ahead of the queue in front of Michael Eifert and strip Bivol? Why do that? If you just knew you was gonna jump up and go and run that shit with Zerto, bro, it just don't make sense, man. It makes sense. It makes sense because, motherfuckers, niggas will say shit. Niggas will say shit and, they'll say shit and then, their actions will contradict all of that shit. I want to fight Benavidez. I want to fight Bivol. Okay, you're right there on the precipice. It's not even a precipice. You can fight Benavidez next year. Because Benavidez, like, man, I don't got nothing going on right now. What's happening? What's good, bro? Like, what is we doing? And, niggas is saying this is the second time that you done got out of fighting Benavidez. You can't be mad at them for saying that. I'm in the middle because I understand what it is that they're saying. But if your body can't make the weight, your body just can't make the weight. So, I'm in the middle, but fucking hell, man. You gotta admit, bro, this shit don't look on the up and up, gang. It don't look like, nah. This shit look funny style. Should look funny as fuck. I'm just saying, man, like, I'm just saying, and I don't like this, I've seen people put them on the pound for pound list and all that. It's like, yo, y'all gotta stop trying to. This is a really good win for David. I don't give a fuck at what point we are in Yarde's career. I do not care about that. Good win for David. If you can give Kovalev and Bivol credit for beating Anthony Yarde, you can give David Benavidez his credit for beating Anthony Yarde, because I sure as hell do. But when you start trying to put him on the pound for pound list, we got a problem. We have a problem. Because that's not like Benavidez wasn't on the pound for pound list for beating Yarde, dog. Like, he was Deboing belts off of niggas. He was Deboing belts off of niggas. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a good win, but let's not overblow the win. Don't overblow it. And that's what people continue to do with David Benavidez, and that's what pisses me off. That's why I give so much resistance. Y'all just can't call it straight. This was a good win, and not just a good win, a statement win for David Benavidez. It was a statement. But is it enough to put him on the pound for pound list? No, it's not. It's not. Vosdick wasn't. And that's a former world champion. And I have to take back what I said about Yarde being I think Yarde is a better version, a better fighter in the now than a Vosdick. I think I'm gonna have to go back on that one. We're gonna have to walk that one back. Nah, at least not the way that he fought. I just figured he thought that David had limitations in his game that he can exploit, even though you have those same limitations. That's just me being real. That's just me being real. But it was a good win nonetheless. It was a good win. I'm not about to sit here and say, I don't want to poke all these holes in that win. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. It was a good win. But it's not, he's not pound for pound for beating Yarde. He's not on the pound for pound list beating Yarde. If Callum Smith was a champion and he beat Joshua Buatsi, well, that could potentially get him on the pound for pound list because if Callum Smith was elevated to a champion, and he beat Joshua Buatsi, are we going to put him on the list for that? If that fight that they had back in February was for a belt, do we put Callum Smith on the pound for pound list for that? I'm not so sure. I don't think we could. The only saving grace would be the fact that even then you can't do that because David has taken the belt off of a champion before. No, you can't do that. No. Joshua Buatsi is a better win than Anthony Yarde, and that's not reason for him to be on the pound for pound list. So we don't put David Benavidez isn't not off of beating one champion, bro. Not off of beating one champion. But if he continues to make these type of fights, then absolutely. He goes up there, he beats Verdo. It's unquestionable to do this on the pound for pound list. That's without question. But there is still work to be done at 175 pounds, man. There's work to be done. I'm about to read some orange juice real quick. There's work to be done. I really want to be empathetic and say, my nigga, you can stay at 175 pounds for at least another year. I want to say that. I do. But I'm not in that man's body. So I don't want to just jump the gun and make that assumption, man. But I just feel like for a dude who was making 168 pounds, consistently killing your body. You held out hope for Canelo for some years. Killing your body to make the weight. The same goals you had for Canelo when you was gunning for him, you're right. You are right there. Denied a title shot. You in a position to fight for all the belts. You can't give it another year. I saw a lot more aggression and assertiveness in this. Well, not the same. I saw the same level of aggression of assertiveness. That's not becoming somebody who's weight drained. Just isn't. So, man, yeah, I just great win, good win, really good win. Really good win. But let's just, let's look at everything in the grand scheme of things. You dig what I'm saying? Just consider everything that's being said, that everybody is saying. Like, yo, this shit is kind of a head scratcher. It's a lot of people feeling like that. That this shit is a head scratcher. Not his victory, but just his jump up to cruiserweight. And we're going to discuss it on Nuke's panel whenever he goes live again, man. More in detail. So that's how I'm feeling about it, man. I'm about to run up in this gas station. I'll get with y'all later. Deuces.